Yeah, I do agree with that. I think in terms of Maul's hero pool, Cho would be the most obvious remaining pick. You have other ideas, Husky?
No, not really. I think Cho probably makes the most sense. Just looking at the play
Or
himself.
Ruby, I guess?
Yeah, there's Ruby. I mean, Ruby Arlet. If you want bigger team fight, you go down to Minotaur Tigreal, right? But those two they don't feel good playing up against what SRG has right now.
Actually, now that I think about it a little bit deeper, I think Franco might actually be a pretty decent, like put in. Because number one, if we go for Ruby or Cho, you're just giving more and more cooldowns and more stacks to Phobius, right? The more dashes is counterintuitive, but instead they actually go for the Rocket as well as Valentina. That's not too bad. One dash being the ult doesn't matter if you're CC'd. You can't use your ult if you are in the air.
Yeah, not a bad choice here. I think it's a pretty safe option. Grok and Valentina oftentimes are picked early, just as a blind pick when you don't really know what your opponent has yet. But looks like it did come out the Lunox gold lane to counter Harith. So Red Giants already had this in mind.
Yeah, I mean, even with the opening Phobius pick, right? Like, Homeboys willingly and knowingly picked the Harith into the Phobius. Not to mention the Valentina on top of that as well. So the risk is something that Coach Jeff is willing to take. Now it comes down to how they manage kind of the first few minutes, especially if you let SRG get ahead in the early game, it's going to be a world of pain.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slow early game personally, but as we get into this game, hopefully we're going to see a little bit more, because here's what I'm expecting. A slow game from the side of SRG. They're going to need some time to scale, with the main driving force being Sakaisen as well as Stormy. If Yums isn't able to find an angle, I think that Homeboys generally early to mid should be theirs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Homeboys have a pretty solid lineup, so SRG, if they want to make something happen, gotta make it happen quick. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the land of Dawn. The very first game of MPL Malaysia Season 14 is about to commence. Homeboys on the blue side versus the Selangor Red Giants on the red. Who will emerge victorious?
Match numero uno for this season. And one of the dynamics that I'm seeing right now is in that mid lane, right? Both mid laners don't really care too much if they can shove the wave. They're not exactly the fastest. Although I think the advantage does lie with Stormy a bit more because of the Nightmare respawn. But that extra leash that gives Sakai a bit of a head start. A lot of focus on getting the jungler, on the pace going.
Yeah, but they're also making sure that they have full control over that mid lane. That's why we see that Edith is parked right behind the Zosk, pretty much for the first minute of this game. Whether or not they're going to rotate towards that top side of the map is going to be a completely different question, knowing that SRG can actually play through Cram.
Yeah, I think SRG, they know that most likely this early game nothing's gonna really happen until the first turtle. So having Yums here to kind of stand back the mid lane, hold the minions in place to make sure Stormy can farm safely is a better use of his time than attempting some sort of gank.
And that kind of blows for Udio because of the timing of Yum showing up. I think Udio actually lost a big chunk of the wave. And even Waf is forced to use that rejuvenate, that revitalize to heal himself back up. So resources are already being expended. Top side, Innocent has to flicker away. Aimao on the chase. Tempest of Blaze drop down. First blood going over to Homeboys.
That's what you want to see from the Homeboys, right? As soon as you hit a power spike, as soon as you hit level 4, you're looking for kills on Innocent to slow down his scaling. Udil, however, is taking so much punishment. He's already technically, based on what we're looking at the EXP, he's only missed 1 minion out of the 3 minions from that wave, so it's not that big of a deal. Waf, on the other hand, he's taking so much punishment from Cram.
Yeah, he's having some difficulty down here in the EXP lane, but I think Udil taking that damage is actually good. You saw that he was slowly taking the wave to push Stormy ahead, which meant that Yums actually had to hang around the mid lane to make sure that the Zas wasn't ganked, allowing Homeboys to go for the gank in the gold lane instead.
SRG does get priority over the turtle, and just like that, they get the objective. While this time, not so lucky though, executed by Stormy. Yums will arrive at the scene knowing that this orange buff is being initiated on. Yums actually takes a Cyclone Knife forward, pops the ultimate, Tempest of Blaze, baited out from Aimao. He wants to run away with Cram around. Homeboys get him out.
Quite a lot of resources utilized there by the Red Giants, but Homeboys were still able to secure the buff and get out without any casualties. So they're doing a very good job of damage control. Net worth lead slightly slightly for the Red Giants, but Homeboy's doing a good job of keeping up.
Yeah, just a couple of minions, a couple of camps, not the biggest of deals. You're not losing major objectives, you're not losing big buffs, so they're not falling too far behind overall. When we compare the EXP in terms of levels, Cram, the fact that he's one level ahead of WAF, he's basically got this lane under control, and there's not much that WAF can really do about it other than sandbag.
I mean, Cram is willing to even use that ultimate, right? The Infernal Pursuit, just to get a bit of trade in. This sandbag is working out well for Homeboys, and I'm expecting SRG to make more movements down bot to get that turret sooner or later.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup, right? As soon as level 4 hits, WAF, wait, hold on, Yums.
It's gonna be caught. Primal Wrap gets that extra shield. Damage is sufficient to take down Udio. Traded by Aimao in the process. The guys 1v1. The Prince reigns supreme. Double kill for Sakai's. And Mao now on the run. Sakai's gets the energy back. Couple of dashes. Gets the flicker out from Mao.
He's still
Sakai still goes for the chase. It's a killing spree for the Nolan.
He can absolutely go for the chase. He's Nolan, baby. He's fast. He's fast as heck. And he also has a secondary gap closer in his passive, which makes his auto attacks allow him to leap at his targets to create a fracture. Now, looking at the buffs, both sides, it's going to be on the bottom side of the map. Turtle spawning on top in 13 seconds. They need to set this up well because Cram, he's got full control over this lane. He's probably going to proxy one more wave before he makes his way over to the Turtle.
And this is actually really good as well. In fact, Red Giants can even choose to maybe ignore the EXP lane because as long as WAF is held in the lane, he cannot freely rotate and provide utility.
Yeah, even Cram's gonna use Flicker to get away. He was rooted by Udio. Glorious pathway. Cram now forced to fight. Healing up with that ultimate Infernal Pursuit. Not enough this time. Taken down by 4 man of Homeboys.
He doesn't have the stats. He doesn't have the max HP to become really, really vicious just yet. Until he gets to that point, until we see him have that Clock of Destinies, it's going to take a bit of time before he can 1v4 like that.
And the commitment onto Soul. That's Purify out. I mean, Cram also has the Thunder Belt, right? So the stack is just going to get even deadlier as the game progresses.
Really nice rotations here. Red Giants realizing Homeboys committed a lot of resources to taking out Cram, able to focus their efforts onto the gold lane. Not able to get the kill, but forcing out a battle spell and a tower is going to be great for them. They've already built up a 2k net worth lead 5 minutes in.
I like the feints that we see from the side of SRG. I like the way that they're opening up this map. They're not necessarily taking the most efficient route, but they're purposefully covering majority of these bushes.
Oh, that's damage!
And it's gonna be the Stormy ultimate. Udio takes it. WAF just melted. Supposedly the answer to this disaster, but not this time around. Mao also forced away. Purple buff given over to Sakai's once more. Homeboy's put in a pretty rough position. The fact that this Hylos has to join his team this early on.
Really good call coming in there from Stormy. Instantly jumped into the bush, got the laser on 3 people and melted so much HP right at the beginning. Basically making it impossible for Homeboys to try and respawn. Amal should get a tower for free at least, but that's quite a consolation.
Yeah. Should be able to get away from this, right?
Oh.
SDL drop, easily dodged by Sakai's. Backup coming in, Amal. Just the outplay, the mechanics from this man. Stormy should be there to clean it up. It's a straight 1-for-1.
Not bad, not bad. Good stuff coming in from Amal there. He was taking way more autos than he probably should have against the guys, but he knows that he's got a little bit more burst at the end of the day, especially when he has his ult. Overall, SRG is still ahead in terms of the economy by 2,200 and 5 more seconds until we actually see the turtle spawn, which Homeboys, again, they are playing very standard-wise, right? Solana Red Giants are just making sure that when they rotate, they cover each one of these brushes to eliminate the possibilities of where Homeboys could be, and then eventually corralling them like sheep.
Udio will be caught. The Earth Shatter. It's a slow follow-up. Solana Red Giants slowly just funneling the resources. So Wild Charge also out for Mao. He did get the orange buff for Amal in this case, but map control over the SRG.
Yeah, this is very classic SRG. We've seen this time and time again. When they are ahead, they know how to control the map. They know how to manipulate enemy movements in a way that puts them vulnerable against their own forces. And now with the turtle up, they can just have Stormy deal with it alone, steal the purple buff. We are going to see the Red Giants very systematically remove resources across the map in the next few minutes.
Yeah, look at the decisions being made, right? They didn't even dedicate any resources to head over to the bottom side of the map, despite seeing both Amal and as well as Soul. They knew for a fact, unless Soul commits really, really hard to this T2, then we're definitely going to get a trade back on a gold laner, which is technically, to us, pretty fine. I think Homeboys at this point of time should never be contesting for these objectives. Let Amal split push, let Soul be the one where the majority of the Homeboys members need to kind of cover for.
Aimar's going to show himself, but this is not the fight that he can win. I think at the same time, it's also, we haven't really seen Innocent be engaged in these full-blown team fights, right? Both goal laners have just been left on an island to farm up, get that goal, get that arsenal going. But SRG clearly having a bit more of that map control.
Yeah, Innocent hasn't really been disrupted, but he did fall a little behind earlier because he got ganked, so his farm might not be as good as usual, but still, we know that he will end up being quite the late game threat due to that max HP damage. Oh, in the bottom lane! Oh!
Wait! Lethal Ignition!
The burn finished him off. We thought he got away for a moment on the minimap, but looks like he was not able to do so. I do like how confident Amal is, but he's got to pick his battles a little more carefully.
Bit of a revenge. Udio also has to retreat, keeps his Purify. Stormy hit with the stun, follows up. Udio, are you not going to use it? Forces it out at the very end. SRG just like that. One solo kill on the bot side, you negate a split push, and you get, again, control of the map. You wrestle it back for yourself.
Yeah, very patient coming in from Udil, from the Homeboys. But I think that SRG, they've got this game in the bag, right? Even Sakai's, he's waiting for Amal to just use that ult before he goes for the all-in, just to proc Lethal Ignition to get the extra bit of damage. In terms of items, though, we are seeing a full item ahead for those who at least have 500 or gold more.
It's honestly a huge lead right now for the Red Giants. Even if the numbers may not be as inflated as we're used to, they know what the Homeboys want to aim for. Usually when you have a Ling, you should be able to control the map somewhat, but Skies on the Nolan is somewhat able to match his pace, making split pushing difficult.
Even Yumes and Stormy, the dynamic duo, is able to read Amal's movement, conceal from the side of Homeboys, while Cram instantly flickers, just to not get caught.
It's tough. It's tough playing Lunox into the Howard matchup because so many things need to go right for you, right? You need to survive until level 4, and then even afterwards, your items are naturally, if you compare Harith items to Lunox items 1-to-1, majority of the early game items are way cheaper. Oh, Cram is getting deep in there.
He's going to hold WAF back. Lord should go over to SRG. Innocent also almost taking out Udo in the process.
That was painful right there. If Innocent had Lethal Ignition, that may have actually been a kill.
Oh, how he wishes.
If he had War Cry.
If he had War Cry, it would have been a different story. But hey, now Selangor Red Giants looking to surge their economy even more. They already have a 5.6k gold lead. They're about to 2x it if they're able to break open inhibitors. Now, this is under a couple of conditions, right? Homeboys, if we're looking at them, they don't have a lot of wave clear. They have to dedicate a lot of people on one lane at a time rather than spread them out.
Yeah, when you have a lineup like this, you ideally want to be at least even in terms of farm with your opponent because you do have heroes with a late game potential that need items to remain somewhat relevant. I think WAF especially has been having a lot of difficulty since he already lost lane early on, making it so that he's not able to sandbag like the hero should.
Even the flicker wild charge, and once Sukai is gone, it's a dash away and caught on by Amal. Great execution from the Homeboys.
Good stuff from Amal, but at the same time, their inhibitors are getting exposed here.
The glorious pathway, they want to clear out the Lord, should be able to do so now without Sukai in the picture. The SRG will not be able to get any inhibitors off of the first Lord. Homeboys mounting a very solid defense.
I think all things considered, that's actually pretty good, and a very nice ambush as well from the Homeboys, taking advantage of the Red Giants' confidence to expand across the map, finding the wild charge, finding a kill on a very high-value target. Unfortunately, they're gonna need to replicate that quite a few more times. Keeping all their inhibitors alive is great, but continued pushes are going to make defense more and more difficult. What does Homeboys need to do to maybe keep their feet in this game?
Well, I think that number one, it's got to be with Mal, right? It's got to be one hell of an ult, one hell of a 5-man knockup of some sort. It's difficult because they are struggling to get into the pit, right? If we're talking about the position of where this Lord pit is, most of the time, the Homeboys just play by the river line, but they need to get a little bit deeper. They need to be able to have access to a clear line to get inside of the pit.
Oh, you actually found Amal, but Udo, he's just instantly caught in the blink of an eye. You can see the idea from Homeboys. Ma was in a position that he could potentially go for pincer, but SRG just pulled the trigger first.
Yeah, a two-prong attack as well. Yumes used the conceal to actually walk past Udil to try and target Soul, leaving Udil to the rest of his team. And while they weren't able to get the second kill, it's still very effective.
It's going to be a push. Inhibitor guaranteed. Almost.
Almost.
Okay, not yet. It will be soon though. I mean, Lord is coming up.
Yeah, the second wave will probably do it, right? We'll see whether or not Homeboys can get
Another wild charge. The guys this time gets away. So he didn't expend Tempest of Blaze. I mean, realizing that the Lord is coming up.
Yeah, they gotta save resources, and Amal unfortunately didn't have purple buff as well, so it was difficult to keep the chase up. Cram can engage.
It's gonna be a wild glorious pathway, drop down, just soaking up the damage, but even the revitalize is not enough, and Snug Eyes retries to fight Udio again. Eliminated, Infernal Pursuit, an endless chase from Cram. Forces the rest of Homeboys away. SRG now have access to the pit.
Yep, Innocent finally is online. Holy Crystal was purchased at the 10-minute mark, so now he actually has relevant damage in these fights, and I think that Homeboys not prepared for it. Even a single Athena shield would do a little bit of work, but you'll lose at least 50% of your health, and with so much CC from Slangor Red Giants, what are they gonna do?
And 2 inhibitors taken down by SRG. Neymar clears out the wave alongside Soul. The rest of Homeboys now back as the guy solos the Lord. SRG setting up for the end game scenario already.
I always love the way that Selangor Red Giants manages their human resources, the way they split up the map. The moment 2 players go down, they go for the push into the base to keep pressure on Homeboys, keep them inside their safe zone while sending Skies to get the Lord so that they're not giving up any objective pressure across the map at all. It is so difficult to deal with.
It's very good coverage at this point in time, and I think that the Homeboys don't exactly have much of an answer to it. Unless we see Udio have like max items, maybe even steals of brilliance and one-shots the jungler, I don't see them coming back from this. And Amal, he's doing it all he can to try and drag this game out.
It's not going to be quite enough though. He's down. So Homeboys 4v5. This is where the responsibility goes on to Soul. Deathless the entire game. Having more than enough damage to clear out the Lord for sure. But SRG will get the last remaining inhibitor. Flicker forward, Yums, good purify Soul with the dodge. And with the help of Udo, that's immortality for Yums now, but Soul needs to do way more than that. And Innocent with the brilliance, that's absolutely meltdown, meltdown. So SRG looking for the first blood in the series. Udo next on the chopping block, and Wab left to his own devices. The Grand Guardian falls, and Selangor Red Giants gets game 1.
The world champions prove to us why they are the only Malaysian team to win an international tournament. It's just such clean play, clean action.
Game 1 as a potential roam pick. Now it's SRG's turn. I mean, at the end of the day, it feels nice to be CC immune, you know, that Lolita Hanabi does look pretty juicy right now.
It doesn't sound like a bad idea, but at the same time, is it necessary? Is it like overkill for like an Arlet? It's like, I don't want to get hit by the final slash. We have to play this combo. If not, we're going to get hit by it. But I think that Homeboys, Coach Jeff is doing a really good job. This second phase has been very good by him. The fact that he banned out the Kufra as well as the Ruby, denies the Cho off of Yums as well to make sure that their assassin doesn't get kicked by the way of the dragon. Everything seems to be falling in place, and then SRG now reply. The Grok seems to be super safe overall. The natural way to play into the Cho, because at least you have anti-CC as well. What is this final pick?
Wow.
Ooh. Haven't seen that from Innocent before, I think.
No, I don't think ever, right? At least not since his debut last season in MPL Malaysia.
Yeah, a very interesting option. Doesn't really have the best escape, just a dash to work with, so it does mean that SRG has to be quite cautious with their positioning, but still a very universal gold laner. You can change guns to make sure that you win out lane against whatever Homeboys decides to throw at you at the very end.
Kind of the jack of all trades.
Yep.
Once you get that your arsenal going, once you beef yourself up with equipment, it definitely doesn't take much to kind of two-tap the fanny, just trying to steal cables into your face. And SRG, I mean, they have a very standard comp, right? It's all about those big team fights. We get a good combo, a balanced rage, and with a wild charge to set things up. And Homeboys responds with the Natan.
Interesting. All right. Okay. So it's going to be the Soul Special with the Natan this time round. You're not going to get the best BMI, but at least your auto attacks are going to really hurt once you scale, assuming that you get there. I don't know if this Beatrix is a hard read from SRG. That's what I'm trying to figure out. This is not a normal pick.
Like, you can consider, like what Husky mentioned, she is kind of a jack-of-all-trades hero, so since they don't really know what Homeboys would throw in, they'll just go with it for now. But it does also, like, if you play with the Wesker and Amal misses a a cable somewhere, then you just two-shot them like Husky mentioned as well. So it could be very interesting to see what happens in game number 2.
Yeah, or you just go Nibiru, right? Like your machine gun just destroys the health bar. I suppose it could be a hard read, but it's only one way to find out. SRG, can they clean it up 2-0? Or will Homeboys give us a game 3?
Oh, let's jump right into it this time round, right? Boys, I think in this game, it's really going to come down to the gold laners. I think that SRG is going to be leaning in towards this Beatrix in the early game. So expect your junglers to either be going off on an island of their own, or as soon as the gold laners are 50% HP, you see them flying across the map to save them.
Yeah, I agree. SRG is going to make sure that Innocent has a great time here, because we all know how painful Beatrix can be once she gets a little bit of a lead. That means they have to be the most careful around the early stages when Amal is going to be flying around on this Fanny.
Yeah, the mid lane dynamic did change with the picks now swapping sides, so now SRG kind of gets that priority to move, and also potentially thanks to Yumes walking up and being able to zone Mao away, thanks to the early trade on the turret. We'll see if Homeboys can kind of facilitate Udio to have him move around and join these skirmishes early on.
He should be able to join these skirmishes, but I think the problem right now is they don't know where Homeboys is going to be playing from, right? Are they going to be playing a very supportive style of delaying this game until Seoul gets to that critical mass, or are they going to play around Amal as a spearhead to kind of divert attention away from Seoul?
Yeah, that's going to be the job of Yumes to make sure he's able to find out. They picked up this Grok to counter the Cho, as you put, Gideon, during the draft. So as long as he's able to keep an eye on Homeboys' rotations, Red Giants will be able to proceed at their own pace. So it is up to the Homeboys to see if they can outspeed.
Amal does show up. Massive damage dealt. Muscle Guy's going to respond with his own Tempest Ablaze. First blood not claimed. Sliver of health on both sides, but actually final hit, I believe, from the minions took him out. First blood again for Homeboys.
So sad. So very, very sad for SRG. But great for the Homeboys, right? This means that they don't have to worry about the Ling for a little bit. And more importantly, Ling doesn't have his purple buff. So they don't need to worry about him being able to fly across the map.
Yeah, it was a very greedy timing. That has ended up costing Red Giants somewhat. We see Yumes trying to mess with the purple, not able to steal.
Like the penalty zone as Udio going down without any ultimate to work with. Maybe Homeboys can respond. Final slash goes wide. Stolen final slash. Stormy stops him out in his tracks. The cable's damage not sufficient. Stormy gets the win. Sniper Brenner does not connect. And when SRG respond with one of their own, but Mao does have to will the dragon. Will save it for next time.
Oh man, he felt it. He felt the draft. That bullet whistle right past him. This turtle falls into the hands of SRG, which is great. But now, Innocent, he needs to maintain this lane. He's got that level lead onto Soul for now, but he really needs to kill Soul in lane. If he kills him once in lane, that should be more than enough for him to get at least tier 1 as well as tier 2.
But it's also not an absolutely necessary thing to do. Innocent roaming the mid lane and then using ult to clear the minions mid actually did give him a good amount of gold lead, and that's probably why he's out leveling Soul right now as well. Yume's already in position, is anticipating Amal to maybe go for the gold lane, so Innocent gonna be safe from that.
I mean, essentially the Guardian, right? You protect two people at once. Stormy's gonna feel that pressure a bit. Kick. And Stormy gonna be going to his ultimate. He's fine. The kick's still there though. Cram again, locking two people down with the penalty zone, forcing Udio to go into his own ultimate. Coming out as well. Stormy couldn't get the chase. In fact, top side, Sukai's goes down to Soul.
Ooh, Sky's overextending more than once now and giving Soul a solo kill when he was already behind in lane. That's gonna catch him up to Innocent quite a bit. And this is not what you expect from the Sky Prince.
Oh, not expected at all. Innocent does get a Sky Piercer this time around to finish off his targets. Really makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder how confident he is in like making this happen. Like, oh, getting one auto attack in shouldn't be that much of an issue.
Well, it's more of, I wonder if it's possible to one-shot someone with the Renner's apathy. Like, could you proc Sky Piercer 100-0 with that one shot?
I doubt he's.
He did miss it, unfortunately.
I mean, give it like 10 more minutes, right? When you get the BOD, and we'll find out soon.
Yume's gonna scout things out. We are definitely gonna see a pivot from the Red Giants now. Sky's already having 2 deaths, definitely can't play as aggressive, so they will most likely focus to playing around Innocent's damage instead, especially with the Sky Piercer, and give Skies a little bit of time to farm back up.
speaking of which, it looks like Homeboy's going to be contesting it. They're going to be contesting 4v5. Wait, where is Karen? Wait, where is? Oh, there you go.
Oh, Mao. An attempt. Mao gets a kick away. This should be a kill onto Innocent.
Oh!
Foul charge a bit late from Yums. Out of turret range, so Mao is fine. Backup showing up from SRG. Flicker penny zone. What a catch from Crab. Making sure Mao goes down. Blocked off by the wall, but it's fine. Looking for a retreat right now. To take plenty of damage from Mao. Crab bobbing, weaving, Stormy keeping him safe. Goes into the stolen ultimate. A nightmare respawn as Sakai finally shows up to try and take out Fudio. Stunned up by Waf. Sakai wants to go on the chase. They commit onto it. Sakai finally gets the kill. Doesn't go down. Mao cleans it up and Waf doesn't even die in the process. Scrappy fight from both sides and Waf traded his life. I mean, all of that. Soul did get bot tier 1.
Absolute chaos coming in from both these teams right now, but we are seeing light from the Homeboys. Amal seems very comfortable on the Fanny, able to jump in and out, punishing both Innocent and Skies, dying for the 3rd time in this game. Red Giants do not have a lead.
It's still rough if you're Yums, right? The damage from Fudio really starting to be felt by the Grog. There's a natural enemy. There's not really an answer to even with the Radiant armor that he eventually get for himself if he hasn't yet. The protection needs to be granted to Innocent.
For how long though? Because even though they are able to zone people out, right? As long as they have Udil, and especially with that Nightmaric spawn, it's really difficult to kind of like ignore it. It forces you to address the situation.
Gotta somehow address Soul, who has had plenty of free time for the past couple of minutes. Takes the bot tier 1 and now tier 2 gives it over to Amao. Uncontested, in fact. Now I'm pretty sure he's recovered when you compare him to Innocent.
Yeah, Amal is doing a great job right now. 1 level up on Sky, stealing his orange buff. Sky is no longer strong enough to challenge the 1v1.
Catch Cram first, Amao shows up. But he just targeted by the flicker kick from Mao. Counter engage with the penalty zone. Great balance range to go for the kill. Mao goes down, but Stormy follows. The guys now, it's his turn to join the fight. While being the target, it should be an easy kill for Sakai. SRG finding 2 in the process, and Udio might be next on the menu. Amao, something to say about it. Flicker from Cram, looks for Udio, swing at the hammer. SRG finding 3.
Oh, you guys wanted entertainment? You guys are getting entertainment. The Homeboys are putting up a fight, a brand new roster against the MSC champions. Currently only 1k net worth in advantage of the Selangor Red Giants. As long as the Homeboys can continue playing around Amal and Soul, who has been free farming this whole time, they have a genuine chance of bringing this to a game 3.
Speaking of which, I'm hoping that SRG has some means. Oh, did he win that out? Yeah, he did win that red tree out.
A little bit of payback there.
A little bit, but 10 seconds until the Lord actually spawned. So at this point, Homeboys, they just need to do some house cleaning and then eventually just sit right underneath the Lord at that point of time. But we'll see. We'll see. The timers are just not right. 8 seconds to 17. I don't think they can do it within, wait, that's a 7-second, 8-second difference. So I don't think that's going to be enough time to rush it down.
Even Homeboys probably understands that Soul is approaching critical mass, right? He's at the point where he can literally just 2-shot most people on SRG's side, given the freedom that he has. Now even ahead in terms of level 1 compared to Innocent.
Yep, this is looking like a very tight series. Amal even able to get another free tower up top. The mobility of this Fanny allowing him to manipulate the map the same way the Red Giants did to them in game number 1. And Skies has to do housekeeping.
So to keep watching out for Mao as well. Flicker up into a kick. That could change the dynamic of the game. Conceal from SRG. Looking for an engage, could not find it.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, Conceal is out and now Homeboys know that they don't have a Conceal. They can still play responsibly. They just need to hover around here for as long as possible. Every minute that passes by is just going to be a little bit more farm that Soul is able to amass.
And Homeboys were waiting for the purple buff to respawn as well, so that Amal would be able to fight with it. Is going to be able to get it, no problem, making sure to defend the entrances against the Red Giants. Once Amal has this buff, it will be go time. Homeboys will have the freedom to engage, especially if they see Skies in the top lane.
And the tension is palpable, and even Skies can't really man-fight Amal at this point of time. As much as their levels or experience almost the same, Amal definitely having a way better time in this game. forcing Skies to deal with the wave up top, while the rest of SRG dances around the Lord Pit.
Yep, it's a good idea because they're trying to prompt the response out of Homeboys, right? If any of the ults are going to get thrown at Slam or Red Giant, then Cram or maybe even Yubs are going to be the ones that take it. But for now, you can just chill because there's no real reason to walk up yet until it's below maybe 45 to 30% of the Lord's health.
Well, it's getting there. They're gonna start.
Stormy is going to use a Nightmare Respawn, forces Soul to use his ultimate, and they just catch him in the back. Good trigger finger, and Skies wins the Restream fight. And all SRG needs is one moment to tip the scales, two to go down along with it. Amao able to recall back. Cram almost missed us with the hammer, but SRG wrestle back control.
A bit of a positioning mistake here from the Homeboys. It's fine to have Soul whittle down the Lord, but it didn't seem like they were ready to respawn to protect him, and Stormy just chased him down without the Natan. Homeboys is missing a lot of their damage, so they're not going to be able to get that objective.
For now, I mean, if they are going to start looking to crack open these objectives, it's definitely closer to 15 minutes. Because until we see some of these... Wait, hold on. Oh, Skies is going to take his purple. He's going to come around on the top side to take top tier 2. So Homeboys, they need to delay this. They need to either protect their top tier 2 and send somebody down to the bot side.
Did clear out the mid wave, so it's a bit of a desync in the minion wave. Amao, so prepping top side. I think that's where Homeboys want to attack first. Amao's going to lead the charge, but at the same time, SRG will assume that jungle control. Yoom's also being a pain to deal with. That wall making life hard. Penalty zone from Cram only onto WAP. Follow-up Bandit's Rage does miss. So Homeboys takes care of the Lord and then proceeds to take care of the minion wave. Very well done.
Kind of surprised Yums didn't go for Soul there. It felt like he was very out of position compared to the rest of his team, and he did have wild charge, but looks like Red Giants have their sights on the tower instead. Will be able to take down the tier 2 up top and continue pressuring lanes.
I mean, even Skies still feeling the heat from Amao, right? Mao was just looking for an angle. So side lane tier 2s are down. SRG looking for the mid one. This could be a bit harder considering that Soul has cleared out most of the minion wave to just settle for that. But it's a big goal swing. SRG a 5.2, 5.3k advantage.
And honestly, not that bloody not as bloody just yet, right? You still have about 10, well, sorry, 10 is a bit of an over-exaggeration. 5 more kills, 6 more kills until we get the previous score. But up until then, let's look at the items because I'm seeing BODs already purchases. The Malefic Roar, super important as well. Start cutting through some of the thicker boys.
Innocent already has 3 items, but Soul is actually still slightly ahead of him in terms of farm. So this Natan is still a threat for the Red Giants. The fact that Stormy took him out right at the beginning in that previous fight is the only reason they were able to come out on top. So Homeboys needs to make sure they have a hold on things.
Like a wild charge, and that is follow-up with the penalty zone. Catching the most important target. Amao goes down. The guys wants a bit more. Actually, he gets pulled underneath the turret. At least a dash in. He ends up getting traded. I mean, both junglers going down. Not that bad for Homeboys.
Good coordination again, Red Giants. You see the... Oh, wow, look at that damage. Luckily, not low enough to proc the Sky Piercer, or that would have not felt good.
Yeah,
so did build quite some armor.
They have. There's so many things to worry about in this game. Finally, the Winds of Nature is purchased by Innocent just to keep himself alive from Amal, I guess. Wait, oh, sorry!
Stormy taking so much damage. Oh, Flicker Jet Kundo! And a good follow-up from Wudo to confirm that kill. Cram with the penalty zone is just not enough. They do lose Mao thanks to Innocent. A good final slash. WAP with the catch. Homeboys respond with 3 of their own.
Yep, WAP being the X factor in this game. Making it tough, and I think this is where we see Homeboys actually start with the comeback.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake from the Red Giants. Stormy got too greedy, and Udil knew the timing was right, but Skies is still gonna try and contest.
And so even forcing out the Tempest of Blaze, the guys. Not a spot you want to be in. Amao comes back in time for the second Lord of the game, and Homeboys prepared to make a counter-attack.
Good stuff, good stuff. That's what you want to see from the Homeboys. Decisive action. They could have technically sent somebody to deal with this bottom wave much earlier on, but they said, no, we are blitzing. We need every capable body to protect the Lord Pit at all costs, because it's the only way we're going to be coming back into this game in a reasonable fashion.
Yeah, it was a very fragile balance earlier, but Homeboys have finally managed to crack that door open. and they are keeping themselves in this match. There is a whole Lord for the Red Giants to deal with, and while they have more towers standing than the Homeboys, it's actually not all that much thanks to Amal split pushing the entire game. They can no longer afford to be as greedy as they were.
The rest of Homeboys are awakened, right? Game 1 was a lot primarily about Amal, but we also saw Mao making the play, Udo following up, and even whilst having one of the most crucial moments in that game. In this fight back, gonna catch Mao though. Good Shunpo dodge. And Cram surely sacrifice. Final slash doesn't connect, and Cram somehow gets away, but it's enough to allow Homeboys to escort the Lord in front of the base. At the same time, Udo does get forced away. No Purify in hand. And the snipe doesn't connect. Udo using that ultimate just for security purposes. First inhibitor down for SRG.
This is looking difficult here. A lot of ultimates were used by SRG, but the Lord is gone. Can Homeboys end this?
They're gonna try. Look guys, he's already down. Debuter's passion not enough, so just taps the crystal. And Homeboys gives us game 3.
Woo! Good stuff coming in from the Homeboys. Play around your item spikes. Know exactly.
What about export?
Export? Not yet. That very much depends on whether we'll get a different EXP laner, because I don't think he'll be kind of even with Arlet overall, but you usually want to pick him into something like the Terizla.
Well, I mean, we're seeing the thoughts from Coach Arcadia, right? He's like, you know, even I don't know what to pick for EXP. Let's just pick the Harith and wait.
Yeah. EXP lane matchup, we've already seen is quite important in this lineup here. If Pram is able to pressure Waff right from the get-go, then they just remove a player. So leaving that until last pick makes a lot of sense. And going for the Hardif, who is still open at this point, works since there isn't that much lockdown on the Homeboy side just yet.
Let's see what Homeboys are going to go for. Is it going to be another Natan, or will they also whip out the Lunox for Soul? That's a big question mark. That, and also we get to see where this Arlet is going to go to. Yeah, so Lunox for Soul, Grok for Mao. So it's a XP Arlet.
XP Arlet, alright. XP Arlet. You can't really bully him out. You can't really bully him out with the Terizla because it's banned out. I think there is more than enough reason for the Yutong. The only problem is that you're not going to be able to find that overlap with the Yutong, but you can force a lot out of your opponents.
Yeah, I agree. I think Yuzong or Lapu Lapu would make the most sense in this position unless they suddenly whip out the CC or something, but even then that wouldn't be the best. So, okay. Edith still open. I thought that if they were going Edith, they would have picked it earlier as a flex pick, but they saved it as the last pick instead.
Man, the part of me wanted to say like Gatot Kacha, and then you just put Cho.
Oh man.
I'd be upset. I'd be upset.
The BBB would be very happy. The Big Brain Beloy.
Oh boy, Big Brain Beloy would definitely be happy. I don't know. Let's look at the composition one more time, right? Just to get like a rough idea of what's going to happen in this particular game. The way that I see it is that red side, yes, does have an advantage in the draft, but their composition is very much looking to pick off their opponents and play like mid to close range in comparison to the Homeboys, where if they drag out this fight, they are going to come out 9 out of 10 times on top.
Yep, I agree. If Homeboys are able to delay this until later stages where Soul as well as Amal have farmed, they just take over. So SRG needs to jump on the gun and make the first move. It is going into game number 3 for our debut match of MPL Malaysia Season 14. Will it be the MSC champs, the Red Giants, or will the new lineup of the Homeboys figure out the secret to success?
Hey, sometimes they say history might not repeat itself. It is a new chapter after all. What better way to start off kind of the inaugural series with 3 full games. But of course, aggressive movements from you just to find some info, fishing out where Amal is going to be. But dynamics is going to shift, right? Udio on the Jushin. I'm expecting him to be kind of that sort of frontline utility to deter SRG.
Yeah. But in terms of pathing, right, that means both Sakai's as well as Amal started on opposite sides of the map, which means they're gonna end up on the opposite sides of each other. Fanny heading over to Gold, Ling heading over to EXP, and this is good for Homeboys actually, because they actually want to unlock Waff as soon as possible. Waff is going to be a very big component for upcoming team fights, so the quicker he's out of lane, the better.
Talk about Cram being the potential sacrificial lamb. That 2 flickers out thanks to Udio's earlier movement. And now even coming in with the wall to just stagger the wave a little bit, bring it closer to Homeboy's side.
SRG looking a little bit frazzled here, and I'm not sure who got that one.
Sakai trying to fight this based on the Tempest of Blaze as well, I believe. Sakai's might have gotten it. I look at the experience in a little bit, but again, Homeboy's pathing to top side, clear out the wave, get Soul that lead.
The timing's a bit unfortunate. Sky's pathing top was actually really nice because if he's able to get a kill onto Soul before he hits level 4, there's no risk of him getting a free escape with Brilliance. But Homeboy's already in position to make sure that that cannot happen. And that's already after forcing a flicker out from Yumes in the mid lane. This early game going well for them.
I always say that. Luckily, we turn away as he gets picked up.
That's flicker. Yumes did find aim out in the jungle once more. Turtle goes over to Sakai. Sakai's not going to join in though, he's too far away. And Yumes turned on, did use the ultimate already, stolen wild charge by Stormy just in case.
Yeah, I think once Yumes already knew that Amal was hovering around his purple buff, instantly we saw Slinger Red Giants jump right on top of the turtle, and it's all about how long can Yumes actually buy time for the team. Oh, wait, engage.
That's the ultimate from Mudio out. Yumes, unfortunately, no kick, no flicker, not gonna go for it.
Yeah, Crimson Beacon looks like a very visually cool ult, but man, gets you out of some pretty tight spots. Looking at top side though, Innocent versus Soul, looks like the EXP is roughly about the same. That lane is going even, so no lane advantages there whatsoever. We look down at bot side and it's just Cram with a level lead onto WAF currently. Not 100% sure whether it's like he missed minions or whether he is actually very close to level 5.
Yeah, not too sure.
Oh,
wow.
He lost a decent chunk of minions, actually. Where did that come from?
WAF has been in lane the whole time, and we haven't really seen Cram put that much pressure on him. In fact, it was Cram who got pulled back initially, so that's not the best sign. But the good thing about Arlet is that his utility doesn't need him to be too close in terms of EXP.
Good attempt from Yumes, and that's Brilliance out. They know they're not going to get it. Udio not that lucky this time. No mana to work with. Sakai finds the first blood.
Nicely done by Sakai's. The re-gank as well. Trying to hard push him while having that rotation up. SRG trying to make sure that they don't miss out on EXP, that they don't lose out on free resources across the map.
Yeah, and good timing from Skies as well, taking advantage of Homeboys' increased pressure in the top lane to catch Udil off guard. That's what they need to do.
They're gonna catch WAF in the bottom side as well. This time there's no escape. Scram secures the kill and the lead extends in the XP side.
Okay, this is where Homeboys needs to start buckling up a little bit. Okay, there we go.
Counter attack, that's like a wild charge. Stormy dashes, Tempest of Blaze to follow. Cram tried to save him, not able to do so, but finds the Earth to knock up. Aim out, trap, but finish points out of the way, hops on the wall. SRG loses their mid laner.
Oh, all this while, Innocent just hard shoving, just making sure that he can like slow down this wave. He needs a way to start getting ahead into this matchup, and the only way to do that is through these turtles. So SRG, they're gonna have to fight tooth and nail for these early objectives, even though technically the composition doesn't really want to do that.
Yeah, Homeboy's doing a great job of it so far, and I actually am really impressed with how well Amal has been performing on these assassins, considering how long he has been playing them. Matching up the performance. Oh, with WAF.
They're gonna punish him again. Primal Wrath, couple of steel cables. WAF is taking advantage of in the bottom side. And that means SRG will have members for this turtle fight. Yumes is gonna be the first at the scene.
Will be able to contest it. He's dropping real low. Tempest of Blaze will secure the turtle. Not too much problem. A kick though.
Yeah, flicker kick. That's gonna be so brilliant. Only buying a bit of time. The inevitable will be dead.
Oh.
No, actually, so bit of a fancy movement gets out of the way.
Well, it looks like both teams have kind of assimilated to a very similar playstyle, right? I mean, Homeboys, they're not really a pick-off composition, but the way that they are playing seems very much like it. They're trying to poke out, they're trying to displace people. Wait, Stormy's in so much trouble.
Yeah, he's holding on to the wild charge. Gotta use it. Give it the beacon. Udio beams him down. Brings that Innocent into the fray as well. And that's Zaman forced out. Again, skills tip for Homeboys. Scram man fights wild with the Primal Wrath, finds the kill, flickers to buy distance, but only to be picked back up by Udio and taken down by Amal.
I feel like the flicker forward is a bit too greedy. He could have flickered backward and still gotten the kill and gave himself more room to get out. Red Giants was not ready to follow up. But both teams are actually trading very, very evenly. I am loving the footwork coming in from all of these players. And we can really see why Udil wanted to prioritize the Zeus in despite what seemed like a bait from their opponents. Pulling Stormy back twice was huge.
It was huge. And looking based on the items here, pretty sure we are missing a couple. But so far, we're just waiting for the seconds as they get into this next one. I mean, good brilliance so far. SRG, a lot of their moves just completely thwarted. They are not finding these. Oh!
That's the kick onto Mao, pretty beefy. Able to finish him off. The guy from the back actually takes care of Soul, who does not have brilliance. Can Amao clean up the mess? Doesn't seem like it. Wild Charge does not find the timing, and Amao gets to run away because of that.
Good fingers. Real fast there, but now that he's off the wall, he should be in a lot of trouble.
Ooh, and
He didn't get the auto off? Man, he was out of range. That's so sad.
yeah, it was just a little bit too far. That would have been a really nice kill, but Red Giants gaining a little bit of a foothold again, able to trade for Soul without losing anything in return. But I am really shocked by how close this game has ended up being. The Homeboys lineup has done a lot of preparation.
Yums, another kick to Udio. That's Purify out. Doesn't have a shun pole. Didn't get lifted up, thankfully. I think SRG is starting to understand. We can't just go in for a one-way ticket fight. We gotta be able to push and pull. We have Sakai's, we have Vincent, and that is what we're good at. It's how they kind of won that skirmish in the first place. Bait our resources.
This match, we're going into 8 minutes now. 1k net worth lead for the Red Giants. Honestly, not that much at this point. Humes looking for Soul, but already scouted out as well. Both teams are on maximum alert. They know that this game could shift in either direction just from one mistake.
Yeah, it's very close. It's very close between the two. SRG recognizes that if Udil is able to stick on top of them, it's a big problem, but worse yet, there's still plenty of counter-engage almost immediately after. Not to mention iframes. Whoa!
Wow, it's a counter conceal. Mao missing the Wild Charge flicker.
Innocent in trouble.
Unfortunate, but Innocent might not be that lucky. Trying to get rescued by Humes. Innocent still on the run. Amao chases him down. There's still Tempest of play. Surely is the kill, right? Chrono Dash away. And meanwhile, the backline exposes Cram, trying to give himself to protect his team, and might even find a kill in the process. Udio doesn't find it, but it's Sakai's with the backstab to take out Soul.
Now that's the finesse we've been looking for from the Red Giants. An excellent disengage, paced out, no panic. Every single player making sure to do what is necessary for them to get out on their own. And this guy's coming in at the end for the follow-up, targeting Soul, not even getting baited by the other lower health members.
Oh, let's see how long they can hold that up for, right? 30 more seconds. Current score 3-6 so far. SRG, very similar. Wait, another kick.
Bit off angle, but maybe the damage is enough.
Oh!
That clips Innocent. He dashes away. Chrono Dash cooldown reduced by Diamond Force. The guy just leads at the back again. Left, right, center. He's everywhere. On the ladder, Dawn. And Udio uses a Purify to gain some distance. Good stun.
No way.
Get Graham away. But Soul pops the brilliance. It's just a matter of seconds.
The layering is so good, actually, from both teams. Red Giants are playing the map and their angles a little bit better, but Homeboys are keeping up their thinking. They're making sure to respond and react very, very quickly and use their own HP, even on the core players, as resources to try and preserve as many of their teammates as possible.
That's a preview of what we can expect from these two teams if they ever meet again down the road in that playoffs bracket. But for now, SRG on the lure and Homeboys not in a position to contest.
Unless, I mean, they're concealing forward. They got a 50-50 in. If not,
Yeah, can't find it though. They did get Cram. Still has the ultimate. Lifted out second time. Mao to the back. Finds Stormy. Stormy steals the Wild Charge to gain distance. And at the end of the day, Homeboys finds Cram, but SRG gets lured.
A little slow to contest the Lord, though it didn't really look like Homeboys really wanted to challenge it. Getting Cram there is huge, but Skies just jump straight in.
Man, that cable miss. A bit scary.
oh, it is scary. PTSD from what happened earlier, but with the Lord pushing in, as long as Red Giants, they definitely want to correct the mistake that they did the last time in game number 2. And I think that Homeboys, if they're going to take any precautionary measures, they need to somehow harass Humes out of position.
When you compare it to the previous game, this Lord doesn't use as much gold lead as kind of their Lord moment in game 2. Just measly 2.4. I'm going to clip in at 2.5k net worth advantage. See how much damage they can do.
It's not that much just yet. Homeboys are still in a pretty okay position. Amal being scouted down here. Has to be careful.
I mean, that lethal edition prop did look a bit scary. Clearly the 1v1 goes over to the side of Sakai's top tier 2 down as well.
3K net worth lead. Only the first Lord of the game, surprisingly. It feels like it's been a lot longer than that, but here he goes!
The good kick, that's so down. The impetus for SRG in the hands of Humes. Now Lord pounding with the inhibitor should be taken care of fairly easily, but that opens up the map for SRG to take down all outer tier defenses.
Well, let's not forget about Sakai's as well. He is so big. He's 5-0-1. He's got plenty of damage to actually take out any target that he wants. Question is whether do they have iframes or anti-CC? You take your pick.
Yeah, Red Giants are doing a very good job right now. They're just pressuring the lanes over and over, getting as much damage on the towers as possible. The next Lord gonna be 60 minutes away, so any kills they can get in that meantime will be a plus point, but Homeboy's gonna look for a response.
Oh wow, if he just dashes in like that, could be the fatal mistake. Knockup Jit couldn't dose, the guy from the back doesn't find the angle. Timer Wrath used by Cram already, he's willing to take this fight if Udio lets him. The Homeboys being corralled in an awkward position. Cram completely fine with being the front line. SRG takes everything they can.
No overcommitting from the Red Giants here, which is the smart choice. We've already seen these positions being given up from mistakes like that. So respecting Homeboys after dropping a game earlier. Homeboys also not going too far after realizing they have no more resources. There's a lot of respect happening between these teams, but we know that Red Giants is in control of the map, which is bad news for the Homeboys since the Lord is coming up in 10 seconds.
Homeboys have no real means of actually trying to contest the opposing purple buff to slow down this fanning, and I think it's been way too long since they've even considered that option. But now that it is coming to the next Lord, let's see how SRG do it again, right? Take control of this Riverline and a good kick.
That's a kick. The follow-up is there. Innocent and Stormy joins Mao. Wow, charge stop Stormy. Pick him up by Wudio. Very good connection. And that's the mid lane down. The 3-man follow-up. That is Cram with the Earth Shatter. He breaks apart the entire fight with that one counter engage. And Sakai's all the liberty in the world to chase down his prey. Wudio ain't going nowhere this time. A wipeout for SRG. And a march down the mid lane to claim the opening series of the season.
They have done it once again. They won the first match of Season 13, and they will claim it in the first match of Season 14 as the Selangor Red